So the title of this is self-care selfish? And if you're even asking that question or you're like, yeah, I wonder if that's true, then I'm going to tell you right now the answer is no. And I'm speaking to you particularly if you are somebody who is has been in the past, maybe very recent past, um, self like hard on yourself, very critical of yourself. You always put others first. Um, any of those things. Also, oh my gosh, yeah. If you are looking to others to decide like who and what they want you to be, and then you, without fail, contort yourself into that box to please them. You're a people pleaser, any of these things. Again, if you're a recovering people pleaser or you've done it just today, right? I'm going to tell you no, that self-care for you is not selfish. And just to start to look at, how can we reframe the notion of self-care, right? If you feel like it might be a selfish thing to do, like you don't deserve to take care of yourself, then let's just look at that from not a judgmental comparison point of view, but from a really loving point of view. Like, how can we one of my things is I always say curiosity is a cure. So how can we just get curious about this? It's like, wow, what if self-care wasn't selfish, actually? What if it's actually the opposite? So take a deep breath. Yeah. And exhale, let it go. Especially if this is like bringing up all kinds of things for you, do it again. Inhale and exhale. Yeah. Self-care, taking care of yourself. It's fundamental, especially if you are feeling in your life right now, like you feel stuck. You're having trouble getting traction or taking action on things that you know are important to you. Again, it's the whole thing of like putting others first. You put yourself last. So what matters most to you might have to go in the back burner if somebody else is asking you to do something instead, right? And again, there's no judgment around this at all. Don't beat yourself up over this. You're not alone. So many people, especially women, are in your shoes, myself included. That was me for so many years. Unconsciously people pleasing. I didn't know I was doing it. It wasn't like I was thinking, walking around all the time, thinking about how can I put my needs last and how can I put others' needs first? It just was an automatic thing. And for me, like self-care, it was a thing that I was allowed to do sometimes. There were conditions around it. I either had to earn it by working really hard and it's like, wow, I earned a break, right? Or it had to be a special, typically my birthday, like a special occasion, right? I put a lot of pressure on my birthday and on myself because that was, to me, in my mind, the one legitimate chance I had to do something for myself. That was the one acceptable time to quote unquote indulge in doing something for me, putting my needs first. And so it got a little weird sometimes because I would put all this pressure on myself, like, okay, this is your one day, Kim. You got to figure out, or, it kind of started to expand the birthday into like the birthday week and the birthday month. Like, this is my time or my chance to do something nice for myself. So if you resonate with that at all, then hey, I see you, I hear you. That's been me. That was me for many years until I finally realized, like, whoa, that's a lot of pressure to put on one day. And it was like an artificial thing that I came up with on my own. Once I started taking care of myself on a regular basis, then that insatiable need to quote unquote get it right, and this is your chance to take care of yourself, it went away. It just totally went away. So let's get curious about what is your relationship with self-care. Just have the awareness of it. Like, is self-care so easy for you? It's something that's at the top of your list all the time. Beautiful, hallelujah. If that's something that makes you feel kind of twingy, uncomfortable, maybe even like a little guilty, like if I'm doing something for myself, that means I'm taking from someone else, then just think about that. Just bring the awareness. What is your relationship with self-care right now? And just let yourself feel it. And if you were somebody who, like me, either felt it had to be a special occasion or you had to earn it, maybe you're someone who works really hard, right? Especially if you're putting others' needs first. But even if you aren't, you might be in the habit of just driving yourself, working so hard to achieve and achieve and achieve. And it almost feels like it's never enough. Like you reach one goal and then it's on to the next one and the next one. And there's little or no time at all for celebration, right? That can be part of the cycle. So instead of feeling like you need to earn the right to take care of yourself, let's look at why self-care is fundamental. It's a fundamental right. It's what allows you to be more you, to activate your soul connection and get to the truth of who you are. Like you are here not to earn your place, not to prove yourself. You're here to be exactly who you are. And from that place, once you access, and I know you felt it at some point in your life, where you were just like, so not self-conscious at all. You were just being you and having the time of your life, like really in a moment of joy, of freedom. And it might have been very short-lived. That is who you're meant to be. That is who you are. And coming from that place, the notion of neglecting yourself or not caring for yourself, it just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because you are so important. Who you actually are, that's what the world needs. Let that wash over you for a second. And take another deep breath and let it go. So getting curious, this is again going to be a great tool for you. That first question I asked you, what is your relationship with self-care right now? How have you typically practiced self-care in the past? What would you like your relationship with self-care to be? What comes up for you? Like when you start to decide, oh yeah, I'd love to take care of do something for myself every day. If you're having trouble with this, if you feel like, oh, no way, there's no way that's going to happen, then I suggest you start with kindness. How can you be kind to yourself every day? What's one thing you can do, whether it's a thought, whether it's taking care of your body in some way, whether it's just having appreciation for who you are and how you're being. Again, not judging, not comparing. What if you just start with kindness today? It doesn't have to be, self-care doesn't have to be doing a big spa treatment or something like that. It doesn't have to be treating yourself to a fancy meal or anything. You get to decide, right? What's going to make you feel loved? What's going to make you feel nurtured? You get to decide. And the reason why this is so fundamental, as I said, the reason why this should be a core practice is because if you're not seeing the results you want, or you're working really hard and you're getting results, but they feel hollow, they don't feel satisfying, then there's a mismatch between who you're being and doing, like what you're doing out there in the world, and your soul alignment, your soul connection, your soul activation, the truth of who you are. And self-care is a way of saying, I'm worthy, I'm enough. And if you feel like, just again, getting curious, if you feel any twinge, or it might be a huge feeling that, oh my gosh, I am not worthy, I am not enough, I need to keep chasing all these other things, in order to prove myself. And I'm not saying that goals aren't worthy, but if you really feel like you're not enough until, right, until you make enough money or you buy the house or your body looks a certain way or you get the promotion or the job, then there's something that is underneath your desire to see results, to take action, especially if you're trying to take soul-aligned action on a certain project and it's just scaring the hell out of you and you're not doing it. Or again, like I said, you're doing a lot of action and it just doesn't feel good. And it's worth looking into and just getting curious about, what is your sense of self-worth? Or how about self-love, right? We're just in conversation here. We're just putting these terms, these words on the table, and you get to pick them up and try them on or trade them out and change them and say, you know what, that doesn't fit me. That's not true for me. This whole thing about self-love, like I totally know who I am and I love myself. And I'm still not seeing the results I want. Then again, getting curious about, where is there a mismatch between the action you're taking, the results you want to see, and the truth of who you are. Yeah. And it can take time. I recommend journaling about it. So you're going to find your own way, different ways or activities you can do. If you want to take action right now, is you can start to journal about these questions. You can take a walk, like however, where do you get your best ideas, right? Is it in the shower? And not that I'm saying you need to take like a 10-hour shower, but just open yourself up to that question. Be intentional about it. Maybe ask your dreams. So as you're slipping, you're in bed, pulling the covers up, starting to nod off and asking intentionally, like, let me look at, what's the action I need to be taking? Where am I out of soul alignment? Yeah. Find the way that's worked for you in the past. That's always a good clue. And again, if you feel like nothing has ever worked for me in the past, then that's when you start trying different things and seeing what lights you up, what works. Maybe it's meditation for you. Maybe it's just sitting and being quiet. Again, like I said, maybe it's moving your body. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's being out in the sunshine. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's recording yourself, like just talking to yourself. Find your own way, try different things in an expansive way if you can. It can be hard to do that versus a contracted way, versus like, oh, I got to see if this one works. Like I wonder, it's that curiosity thing. Curiosity is a cure. I wonder if this will work for me, and being okay with it either way. Yeah, I'm feeling you right now. It can be a lot. So self-care is definitely not selfish. Taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your soul connection, your spirit, your mind. These are all very necessary things in order for you to show up as your best self, to be there for others, but to be there for yourself first. Yeah. So pop a comment below if you have any questions. Let's dialogue about this. I feel like this is a deep, deep one. I almost said heavy. It can feel heavy. And if that's you, then again, remember to breathe, keep breathing. And just try to shift your perspective from, oh my God, this is really deep and heavy, to how can this just be curious? How can this be more playful? That is it for this one. Again, comment below. Know that I love you so much. You can do this. You are worthy.
Bye for now.